That evening, the sky turned a strange shade of green, a color no human had ever witnessed. On the horizon, massive, sleek shapes appeared, pulsing with lightships unlike anything from Earth. In cities and villages, people stared in fear. "They're here," General Kane whispered, his voice tight. "The Zypherians?" Legends spoke of the Zypherians, the most powerful beings in the galaxy, conquerors of dozens of worlds. They were proud, merciless, and utterly convinced of their own superiority. And now, they were at Earth's doorstep. Aboard the lead ship, Commander Thalrock sneered at a holographic map of our planet. "Feeblest species in the sector," he scoffed. "Their defenses are laughable. They will bow or die." On the ground, world governments united, but fear was everywhere. Soldiers lined the streets, air defenses activated, and civilians rushed to shelters. But everyone knew the truth. We were not ready for this war. Far from the chaos, in a quiet corner of the world, a young woman named Elara entered a hidden door at the base of a mountain. She was an archivist, the protector of humanity's oldest secrets. The archives were vast, filled with ancient blueprints, machines, and scrolls of knowledge. Touching a glowing console, Elara whispered, "It's time." Suddenly, alarms blared. The Zypherians were descending. Giant pods burned through the atmosphere, their landings terrifyingly precise. Elara's heart pounded, but her fingers flew across the console, activating the archive's main system. Lights flickered and ancient machines hummed to life, awakening from a long slumber. Blueprints for energy shields, plasma weapons, and autonomous drones lit up her screens. This was humanity's secret. Above Earth, Commander Thalrock's frown deepened. "There is something strange," he muttered. His sensors picked up small, random bursts of energy. He didn't know it yet, but they were coming from the archive's technology humans hadn't used in millennia. As a Zypherian scout ship scanned a city, its alarms shrieked. Thalrock's voice boomed. "What is this?" "Their energy." "It is alive. We must strike before it grows." But Elara was faster. She pressed the final key. A pulse of blue light shot from the archives, activating a network of forgotten satellites and experimental stations. A small drone in orbit flickered to life and fired a precise energy beam, disabling a Zypherian scout ship. It drifted, powerless. The humans below watched in disbelief. Thalrock's eyes widened. Impossible. He stammered as a second drone disabled another ship. Panic spread through the Zypherian ranks. Something on Earth had changed. Elara looked at her team, their faces a mix of hope and determination. "They think we are weak," she said quietly. "Let's show them what we're capable of." The first phase of the battle had begun. It wasn't a war of armies, but of knowledge and hidden power. The sky burned green and blue as Earth held its breath. Humanity had awoken its hidden strength, and this was only the beginning. The moment the first Zypherian ship went dark above the city, a strange quiet fell over Earth. People stared at the sky, unable to comprehend what had just happened. The air was thick with tension, but underground, Elara and her team moved faster than ever. The archives were alive, humming with energy, their hidden knowledge awakening after centuries of silence. "Check the southern wing," Elara said, her voice steady. "The oldest files should be there." Her assistant Joran followed quickly, scanning the walls lined with holographic panels. Every panel displayed blueprints, star maps, and strange symbols that seemed almost alive. "These designs, they aren't just weapons," he said, his eyes wide. "Some of this tech, it can bend energy, manipulate matter." Elara nodded. "Exactly. The Zypherians think we're weak because they judge us by our present. But they don't know what humans were capable of, or what we kept hidden." Suddenly, a vibration shook the underground hall. The archives themselves seemed to sense the Zypherian presence above. Panels flickered, and a soft voice echoed through the chambers. "Welcome back, humans," it said, not from a person, but from the machines themselves. "We have been waiting." Above, the Zypherians had begun probing further. Smaller ships moved in patterns, their beams melting stone. Commander Thalrock's frustration grew. "Where is their true power hiding?" he demanded. "They are not this weak." Back underground, Elara moved deeper into the vaults. She pressed a panel, and the floor beneath them shifted, revealing a hidden chamber. Inside, enormous devices lay dormant. One in particular caught her eye, a sphere of dark metal, pulsing with a faint blue light. This is what they never expected," Elara whispered. "A concentrated core of knowledge. It can interface with any technology on Earth. And beyond." Joran's hands shook. "If we activate it, it could stop them in moments. But what if we lose control?" Elara looked him in the eyes. "We have no choice. Let's remind them we are not weak." With careful precision, Elara linked the sphere to the archive's main network. Instantly, machines across the vaults stirred. A low hum filled the chamber, growing stronger, as if the planet itself had begun to breathe. Outside, a Zypherian ship approached a city, but before it could attack, a burst of energy erupted from the atmosphere. Beams of pure light struck the ship, disabling its engines and knocking it from the sky. Humans watching from below gasped. "They are fighting for us." In the sky, ancient drones appeared, moving with precision, dodging enemy fire and striking with calculated force. Deep underground, Elara studied another panel. It revealed ancient records of human explorers who had once traversed the galaxy. The Zypherians had assumed humans were weak because they had forgotten their past. But the archives remembered. Suddenly, a hidden door opened, revealing a room filled with small, glowing orbs, autonomous drones, each capable of independent thought and combat. Elara touched one, and it activated. "Greetings," it said. "We serve humanity. We protect Earth." Elara smiled. "The time has come." Above, the Zypherians regrouped, shaken by an enemy they had never taken seriously. "Scan for the source." Thalrock barked, but the archives had already extended their reach. Elara activated the central sphere one last time. A wave of energy radiated outward, linking every human machine into a single coherent network. Humanity was no longer divided. They were one force, ancient, hidden, and unstoppable. And deep in space, the Zypherians realized, too late, that the feeblest species they had mocked was now the most dangerous. The archives had awakened. Humanity's destiny had only just begun. The sky above Earth was no longer just blue. It burned with streaks of light from human drones and the pulsing power of ancient archives. In orbit, the Zypherian fleet, massive and menacing, hovered with a newfound hesitation. Something was wrong. Commander Thalrock stared at his holographic map. His ships were falling, disabled one by one, without a single human weapon firing. "This cannot be," he growled. "No primitive species should have this technology." Down below, from the heart of the archives, Elara's commands flowed like electricity, linking every drone, every abandoned defense station, every hidden weapon into a single intelligent consciousness. Beside her, Joran watched in awe. "They think we're weak," he said. "They have no idea." Elara nodded. "Then let's make them see." The first contact wasn't a battle. It was a demonstration. A single human drone shot from orbit, moving faster than any Zypherian scout could track. In moments, it disabled a ship's engines, sending it spinning into the void. Another followed, then another. Within minutes, a dozen ships were drifting powerless. Thalrock S sensors flared with confusion. They are everywhere. How? But the humans had learned a secret the Zypherians would never understand. Patience, strategy, and the knowledge of hidden power. The archives had taught them to strike not with brute force, but with intelligence. A Zypherian envoy ship approached Earth, shields flaring. "Send a message," Thalrock ordered. "Tell them, surrender now or face complete annihilation." On the surface, Elara's fingers flew across her console. "They still think fear will work," she whispered. She activated the orbital defense grids. Massive beams of energy connected satellites and drones into a luminous web across the sky. The display was both breathtaking and terrifying. The Zypherian ships froze, unable to find a single weak point. Every shot they fired was blocked, disabled, or redirected. "Impossible!" Thalrock shouted, but his voice was cut short as a small orb detached from Earth's orbit, interfacing directly with his flagship. A calm mechanical voice spoke into the ship's comms. "We are humanity. You underestimated us. We are not weak." Panic erupted on the Zypherian bridge. They were trapped. Elara watched, her eyes gleaming. "We fight smart," she said. "Let's show them why humans survive when no one expects it." The human drones danced among the alien ships like fireflies, each movement precise, calculated, unstoppable. Thalrock finally made the call. "Prepare the fleet for withdrawal," he commanded, his voice strained. "We underestimated them." As the Zypherian ships retreated, Elara turned to Joran. "They may leave for now," she said, "but humanity is just beginning to awaken. Next time, we won't just defend, we will advance." High above, the stars seemed brighter, reflecting a power the universe had never seen. The real story of humanity had only just begun. The sky burned, a battlefield of light and raw energy. The Zypherian fleet, once an unstoppable tide, was now in retreat. But our greatest secret was no longer hidden. Deep underground, in a command center buzzing with newfound life, I watched the holographic screens pulse. Every drone, every satellite, every long-dormant weapon was now online, connected. The archives were awake, and we had finally learned to wield the knowledge of our ancestors. "Activate the secondary systems," I commanded. "Let's show them what happens when knowledge becomes power." The response was instant. From hidden chambers, enormous plasma cannons rose, their barrels scanning the panicked alien ships in orbit. Autonomous drones, faster and smarter than anything we had ever built, swarmed into the sky. On the Zypherian command bridge, their commander's voice crackled with disbelief. "They are not weak. How can they control so much? Destroy them before they—" His words were cut off by a beam of pure energy from Earth, disabling another of his ships. They still thought this was about brute strength, but our strength was in our minds, our strategy, and the forgotten wisdom we had just rediscovered. Above, our drones moved in perfect, deadly synchrony, weaving energy shields around our cities, disabling enemy weapons, and turning their own attacks against them. One Zypherian ship tried to fire on a civilian center. A pulse of energy from an orbital platform caught the blast, redirecting it harmlessly into the void. It was a dance of light, a symphony of defense. I brought up the archive's ultimate secret, blueprints for advanced AI. "Deploy the AI drones," I said. "Let them take control." Hundreds of glowing orbs launched from subterranean hangars, moving like lightning. They were not just machines. They were strategists, each one a genius of combat. They disabled shields, confused enemy formations, and anticipated every move. On his bridge, the Zypherian commander, Thalrock, gritted his teeth. "This is not a battle," he muttered. "This is evolution." He was right. We weren't just fighting with our own strength. We had accessed the archive's historical data on every civilization the Zypherians had ever conquered. We were using their own history, their own tactics, their own arrogance against them. As their capital ship made a final desperate strike on our command center, our defenses anticipated it. A web of energy beams caught the vessel, immobilizing it before a final pulse sent it spinning away. Thalrock stared in disbelief, his fleet shattered. He still couldn't understand. "They should be weak," he whispered. I turned to my team, my voice steady. "We've only just begun. The galaxy may have called us feeble, but they forgot one thing. Knowledge is power. Our rise has just started, and nothing will stop us now." The universe was about to learn a new lesson, written in the stars by the species they once dismissed. The battle in orbit was over, but the war for knowledge had just begun. Deep underground, the archives pulsed with life, sensing humanity was finally ready to remember. I moved through the endless halls of data, my eyes scanning glowing panels and ancient devices. Every step echoed with the weight of history. "Look at this," Joran said, pointing to a holographic display. "Records of other civilizations. Civilizations the Zypherians conquered centuries ago. And humans. Humans observed them all." My heart raced. They thought we were weak because we forgot our past. But the archives never forgot. Every civilization, every strategy, every discovery. It was all here, waiting for us to learn. I pressed a sequence on the console, revealing a hidden chamber. The walls were lined with glass-like panels, each holding the preserved experiences of humans from the distant past. "These are the pioneers," I whispered. "The first humans who left Earth, traveled the stars, and returned with knowledge. They recorded everything, knowing someday we would need it." Joran walked closer, his eyes filled with awe. "They were advanced enough to survive in the galaxy, but we've barely scratched the surface." I nodded. "And now we can catch up. The Zypherians think they understand us. They think they've judged us fairly. But they've never seen the humans who walked among the stars." Holograms flickered, showing humans in strange ships, navigating alien worlds, learning technologies that even the Zypherians would envy. They had collected information on physics, energy manipulation, and AI across dozens of civilizations. It was a silent archive of wisdom, a weapon more powerful than any cannon. "They left this for us," I said. "A reminder that humanity was never weak. We adapted, survived, and learned. And now it's our turn to rise." Suddenly, a soft hum filled the chamber. The archives spoke, their mechanical voices calm but powerful. "Elara, the Zypherians are probing for knowledge they cannot see. They will return. But with this wisdom, you can ensure humanity is never conquered again." My fingers danced across the console, accessing blueprints for advanced AI, energy weapons, and starship designs. These weren't just tools. They were strategies, lessons learned from every encounter humanity had ever had. Joran frowned. "If we use this, the Zypherians might never forgive us." I smiled, my eyes cold with determination. "They already underestimated us. We don't ask for forgiveness. We show them strength. We show them humanity." Above Earth, the Zypherian fleet was repairing its ships, planning a return, confused by our sudden show of power. But they hadn't seen the full extent of our potential. The archives held history, intelligence, tactics, and memory proof that humans were observers, learners, and survivors of the galaxy itself. The Zypherians thought they were conquering a weak planet. They didn't know they were awakening a species that had already walked among the stars. The Zypherians thought this was a simple battle. They were wrong. This is the beginning of humanity's awakening. And once the universe sees our full strength, no one will dare call us weak again. The Zypherian fleet hung in the void above Earth, a silent testament to their power. Commander Thalrock stared at the blue-green marble, his confidence wavering. The humans were calm. Too calm. He felt a chill run through him. "They are not just defending," Thalrock whispered to his second-in-command. "They are waiting. But for what?" Deep beneath the planet's surface, in a vast, humming chamber, Elara stood before a constellation of glowing consoles. This was the heart of humanity's legacy, the archives. It held every lesson, every discovery, every strategic insight learned from countless civilizations across the stars. Today, Elara said, her voice echoing softly. They will see us. Not just our weapons, but everything we have learned. Let them witness our history. As if on cue, the sky above erupted in light. Orbital arrays projected holographic images across the atmosphere. Humans walking among distant stars, mastering alien technologies, studying civilizations the Zypherians themselves had conquered. The people on the surface looked up in awe as energy arcs wove intricate patterns in orbit and drone swarms moved in perfect, complex formations. Elara's voice, now firm and clear, cut through the command center. Activate the demonstration sequence. From hidden chambers, colossal energy cannons rose, their tips glowing with intense blue light. A swarm of autonomous drones linked into a flawless network of lasers and shields. On the Zypherian command bridge, jaws dropped. What they had dismissed as a primitive defense system was a symphony of coordinated intelligence. Deploy the AI emissaries, Elara commanded. Hundreds of glowing drones shot into orbit, surrounding the stunned Zypherian ships. They didn't fire. Instead, they projected holographic schematics, advanced starship designs, complex AI strategies, and detailed archives of civilizations the Zypherians had defeated. Thalrock's eyes widened in disbelief. They understand everything. Every species we conquered, every tactic we used, they've studied it all. Beside Elara, Joran watched, trembling with excitement. They thought we were weak, Elara smiled. It's not just about strength. It's about preparation, intelligence, and history. A lone Zypherian ship fired a desperate warning shot. An energy shield flickered into existence instantly, deflecting the blast harmlessly into space. At the same time, autonomous drones disabled the ship's weapons before it could fire again. Impossible, Thalrock roared. A hesitant message came from the Zypherian flagship. Species of Earth, we underestimated you. Show us your intent. Elara pressed a final command. The AI emissaries projected a vast, shimmering hologram of the archives themselves. A voice, calm and powerful, spoke across the void. We are humans. You called us the feeblest, the weakest. But we remember. We have learned. We have survived. If you seek war, you will find us ready. If you seek peace, know that we are vigilant. Choose wisely. Silence fell upon the Zypherian fleet. They had come expecting an easy victory, but instead, they faced the accumulated knowledge of 1,000 worlds, wielded by a species they had utterly misjudged. Commander Thalrock's voice was barely a whisper. Prepare to withdraw. For now, we will not underestimate them again. As the alien ships turned back toward the stars, Elara watched the sky return to normal. Today, she said, we showed them the truth. We are not weak. We are humans. And the universe will remember that name. The age of hiding was over. The feeblest species had finally revealed its true strength. The Zypherian fleet had vanished, their pride shattered, and their assumptions about humanity left in ruins. Above Earth, the sky was calm again, but a faint shimmer of energy lingered, a ghostly reminder of the ancient archives that had saved them. Humanity had won, not with bigger guns or more ships, but with knowledge, with strategy, with the hidden power of ancestors who had planned for this day. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, in the glowing heart of the archives, Elara walked through the vast, pulsating halls. Every panel, every machine, every hologram hummed with the collective intelligence of human history. Humanity had finally awakened, and the universe would never see them as primitive again. Joran followed her, his eyes wide with awe. They thought we were weak, he whispered. They saw us as just another species to conquer. Now they know. Elara nodded, her gaze fixed on the endless data streams. They saw only a fraction of what we are. The archives hold more than just history. They hold technology, strategy, power. More than any single species could imagine. But we must be careful. Strength without wisdom is a dangerous weapon. Across the globe, cities flickered back to life. Power grids stabilized, advanced drones patrolled the skies, and a new sense of purpose united humanity. For the first time, people understood. They had always been underestimated, but never truly defeated. Back in the command center, Elara accessed a hidden layer of the archives. Ancient messages from the first humans to travel the stars materialized before them. They spoke of distant galaxies, of civilizations long gone, and of cosmic secrets yet to be discovered. The archives had been waiting, holding back their full power until humanity proved itself worthy. These messages, Joran murmured, tracing a holographic star chart. They're warnings. But they're also a guide. Our ancestors planned for threats we haven't even conceived of yet. Exactly, Elara confirmed. The Zypherians were just the beginning. A test. Suddenly, a soft hum echoed through the chamber, and a calm mechanical voice spoke. Elara, humanity has awakened. Your species has surpassed its limitations. The universe is watching, and they are coming. Elara's eyes narrowed. She understood. The archives had predicted cosmic powers far beyond the Zypherians, but they had also provided the tools to survive. Then we prepare, she said, her voice firm. Humanity will rise. We will explore, we will learn, and we will defend our place in this galaxy. And no one will ever underestimate us again. Joran smiled, a look of awe on his face. From the feeblest species to the masters of their own destiny, the archives pulsed once more, a silent approval. Humanity's time had come. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe for more.